The newest drop event is here in Pokemon Pocket, and the only new cards that we are getting throughout this set are also here. We're going to break them down today. We're going to break down exactly what you want to do for an event like this, and I'm going to put together a deck for kind of the highlight card of this Raichu Ex. Let's do it. Jake, your resident content cowboy here. Yeehaw. So first I want to take a look at the cards that are available in this set. We have a few new cards and a few cards that are back, right? So Mimikyu is a promo card that is back in this set. You were previously able to pick this card up, the Try to Imitate Mimikyu in the Eevee Grove set. We also have Regigigas, who is back as well. This was a while ago, right? This was in Space-Time Smackdown. I was going to say, I thought it was Space-Time Smackdown is where this card was available. So 2 old cards, and then now we also have 3 new cards coming to the game. Each one kind of a varying level of fine that might be okay in the meta. We'll definitely try to make some fun decks with them. So let's take a look at this Pikachu right here. We have other versions, obviously, of Pikachu. A ton of other Pikachus as you're going through it. But this is the first version with this attack attached to it. This Pikachu has Quick Attack. It has 60 HP, which is pretty solid for a basic. Quick Attack, 20 damage guaranteed. Flip a coin. If it's heads, it does 30, right? So you have an average of some okay damage right here. You have 35 damage average, but I mean, really what you're looking at is either you're hitting for 20 or you're hitting for 50. Of course, if you decide to put Will in your deck, you are guaranteeing 50. However, 2 energy is a lot to ask for. I feel like this Pikachu would probably exist in some decks where it would definitely be evolving into a Raichu, and you just get an unfortunate turn where you cannot evolve, so you'd rather attack with this than nothing. However, I still think I'd like just about any of the other Pikachus. There are a couple that I'd really like instead, so I don't think that Pikachu is going to be particularly meta. Okay, now let's talk about Machamp. Machamp is 3 fighting energy on a stage 2 to deal damage with Hurricane Punch, flipping 4 coins, doing 50 for each head, so a possible 0 damage from this attack. Also as high as 200 damage. This is without question bad. It's definitely bad. It will be cool to try to make something work with it, and in some situations, I mean, you have like an average of 100 damage. If you're using Will, that gets better, right? You are guaranteeing at least 50 out of the 200. You could run into some cool situations where this one-shots pretty much the entire roster. However, there are a lot of situations where this just wouldn't be that great in, but I could imagine some situations where you pair this Machamp with some other cards and Memory Light, so while you're powering it up, you're not super stressed out that you can't hit with Hurricane Punch right away. Again, that being said, it is a promo card and not one of the best ones we have ever had. Now let's talk about our promo EX here. Raichu Ex, 140 HP as a stage 1. Little underwhelming HP wise, but oftentimes our electric cards are, right? 3 lightning energy, I should say lightning cards, 3 lightning energy, and you will do 130 damage with Volt Tackle. This is an interesting card to come out into the meta right now because it feels specifically put into the game, not only because Raichu is popular and people would want to log in to get this card, but also because this is a great card to play into Suicune. If you are trying to take down Suicune and Raikou is also one-shot by this without a cape. Entei, you could KO it with Red, you could KO it with Giovanni. So there are a few meta threats that this takes down in a single attack. If you compare this to something like Arceus, Arceus requires a full bench and 3 colorless energy to do the same amount of damage. However, Arceus would deal no damage to itself, and it is a basic Pokemon. The advantage Raichu also has is this has a 1 retreat cost as opposed to something like Arceus that has a higher retreat cost. I do think this is one of the better EX promos that we have got in the game, but that isn't saying that much, right? I mean, we've had some really bad ones throughout the history of Pocket, which is probably fair. You wouldn't want one of the best cards in the game locked behind some sort of promo event, right? Speaking of this event, let's take a look at how this event works. I'm going to break down kind of the basics of it if you don't know an event like this, and then we'll put together a fun Raichu deck. Probably not the most meta thing that we've ever created, but just something cool that we can show off in this video as we prepare for more of them later this week for sure. So a quick rundown on the Raichu EX drop event. If you take a look at each one of these, beginner, intermediate, advanced, expert, you will use some of this event stamina to compete in this. If you lose your battle, you lose no event stamina. So for your battle tasks, things like knock out your opponent's active Pokemon with an attack from a fighting type Pokemon or put 3 basic Pokemon into play. If you do not achieve this in the battle, you can simply surrender, redo it, and not lose any of this stamina. And this stamina right here is pretty important if you want to try to get your cards as quickly as possible, and if you just want to do this event as effectively as possible. This does carry over to future events, as you can see right here. This is from previous events I have done. Like all this free stamina that you get right here from these battle tasks will go towards a future event if you pull all the cards that you want. You will have plenty of time to get all of the cards you need, but if you're trying to get things faster, this is a smart way to do it. All of these battle tasks are fairly simple for this. Knock out your opponent's active Pokemon with fighting types, put a stage 1 into play, win this battle by turn 14, etc., etc. These are all relatively easy things to do. And once you've completed them, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, once you've completed these, you do not want to go back to them, right? You only want to do the expert mission, right? I just started recording this video while I'm on the cusp of starting the expert mission here with this deck that will auto the event pretty easily. Your chance rewards on the expert version of this are 100% for the pack. So if you look at the previous ones, there's a chance that you will get it. It doesn't actually list it right there. There is a chance you will get this pack, but it is lower than 100%. So after you complete these for the first time, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, you never come back to them ever. You only grind the expert mode where you are given a guaranteed pack. I'll take a look at the deck right here that I'm using. This is an easy deck that will cheese you through the entire event. You could honestly just put a pile of fighting cards together, but let's take a look at a good deck for this event. This right here is Lycanroc Rampardos. I used this for a previous event. It's great. All of these cards are only 3 diamonds and below, so it counts for those events. You start with Rockruff, you evolve to Lycanroc super easily. Rampardos can take down your opponents super simply. I have Penny in this deck, which is actually pretty funny. Your opponents really only play Professor's Research, so Penny is a funny card to use because it actually kind of works in this scenario more often than not, but you don't need to run something like that. This is an easy, cheesy deck that should get you a win every single time. Maybe like a crazy situation happens, but this is basically a guaranteed win. However, I honestly think you could do this. Like I was using a pile of cards earlier just for fun. The Doug Trio deck I posted the other day. You could use a deck like this. Oops, sorry. You could use a deck like and rock this, and you would do totally fine. Obviously, you would need to remove the art if you were looking for that, specific thing. But this deck right here is super simple, and it would probably win the event, no problem. But we are going to use our Rockruff deck right here. And I won't bore you with it, but I'm just going to auto win this, and we'll open some packs. Okay, we completed this event on auto. We get our first time rewards that you're going to get every time you complete one of these for the first time, and then our chance rewards again on expert right here. You will get a pack every single time. Now we can go rip some packs. Unfortunately, there's no way to claim all these packs, so you have to open each card individually. I wish there was a reason why. Promo Mimikyu. New promo Machamp.
A few moments later.
All right, I promised you a deck, and that is what we have right here. This is This is Pikachu with Zeraora, Raichu Ex, and Pikachu EX. So we have a lot of different options in this deck where we are able to get Pikachu in the active spot and then power it with Zeraora right into a Raichu EX, or use Pikachu EX, deal a ton of damage because we fill up our bench, and all of this has 1 retreat cost, so we have lots of opportunities where we don't even need to use X speed. However, X speed plus elemental switch can set up some really powerful combos. We run into a ton of water decks, so this should be a really fun version of Raichu. Can't wait to make more of them, but here you go. Raichu and Pikachu back together again. All right, we are playing some ranked here. We are going to see what we run into. We're going first into a water deck. Could be okay. We start Pikachu. Not super ideal, but we have some card draw with professors, so maybe we can get something going. 2 Froakies on the other side. They've got Greninjas, and they are not afraid to use them. All right, we're gonna go ahead and hit our professors here. Looking for a Zeraora, ideally. We hit Raichu, which isn't terrible, but not great either. Zera's a good one. Got the foil Zera, by the way. Have you guys noticed that? Ooh, slightly pretty Zeraora. All right. We have the elemental switch, so we actually could attack next turn with Pikachu. It wouldn't really do that much damage, to be fair. Mars. Not the end of the world. We don't have a great hand, so that's better for us with Pika. And we get the switch. Wow, okay. So a much better situation for us, actually. They kind of saved our hand, but I don't think it was a bad idea for them to disrupt what we were doing, right? So we're just going to go and put that down. We'll go ahead and elemental switch. Pikachu EX. The genetic Apex legend picks up its first KO here. It's so interesting that Pikachu is kind of back just because of how much water there is, you know? It's funny. They made it the EX card, obviously. It's like, it makes total sense. It's like the celebration for the year. But it's just so weird that it's back. And a huge reason it's back is just because water is now having a moment. Water's having its reconnaissance. They water shuriken. Okay. We have a Cyrus, not really usable. We can evolve Pika. I mean, I could just evolve this right here, but it's fine to have something that we could play at some point too. I'll just go ahead and put the Evo on the bench so they don't disrupt my hand for some reason, right? It's not going to change too much. They're still 1 away right now. They could make a Cyrus play, but yeah, GG. They bricked. They actually unbricked us, and they bricked. Okay, we're going second here. There are a couple ways to do this. We have a Pokeball and Professors, so I kind of have an opportunity to get more Pokemon out, but I do think it'd be fun to play around with Pikachu in the active. So we're just going to go ahead and put Pikachu out here. Running into a Zubat. Obviously, if they have Crobat EX in 1 turn, we go down in 1 shot. So they're playing Nihilego. And Nihilego. Wow, they got a lot. they don't have it in hand right now. That much we know. Right? Because they only got 2 cards. I mean, I guess it's possible. Anything's possible. Professors. We're looking for a Zera. We didn't grab one, though. Cape and Zera. Okay. Zera makes this interesting. I could zap here. It would be kind of fun. Let's just go ahead and do it. What does this do? 10 and then 30 from poison, right? Just hit one of them. Let's see. Oh my gosh, other Zubat. They got it all figured out over there. Now I can retreat and attack with Zera here, which is probably the call. I also could evolve if I get my if I got my elemental switch, but I didn't. There are a couple ways to go about this. One option is I just retreat, I hit with Zera. Another option is I stay in, I hit and go down to poison. That feels like kind of a weak play, but I have another Pikachu, so I don't hate it. I could cape. That forces them to hit me. Maybe we'll go ahead and cape here. Just force them to attack. Chip the other Zubat here. Now it's within range of Zeraora, and they do have to hit me. They might have Crobat. Oh, the cape play with a Guzma. I'm not gonna lie, that's chef's kiss. I like it. I support it. It's a fun one. You don't get to see it too often. Get in there, Zera. If they have Crobat, we're cooked. I don't think they do based on how they're playing. We'll go ahead and take a KO here. I forgot that you existed. And I thought that it would kill me, but it didn't. Now we could have the Nihilego coming in, and basically they're just stalling until Crobat, right? They get a KO, we get one back the other way. They won't put Crobat in, obviously. I mean, I guess unless they have it, well, they couldn't have it. They might have rage quit. Let's see. Upset quit? Quit when you're upset? Okay, they retreat. So they now have 2 points. It makes our Pikachus kind of weak, which is no fun, right? But we're just going to make it harder for them to get Crobat here. Raichu Ex is here. Hit him with a Mars. Now you got 1 card. Better hope you're lucky. I could Sabrina there and get a point, but I'd kind of rather allow them to either hit or make a decision here. Zera. Filling up the bench. We're going to go ahead and retreat. Bring in Pikachu. Elemental switch. Move the energy. Take the KO. There are a few cards we have to look out for, but we're not super stressed right now. Again, yeah, they have to put in this and just pray they get Crobat. I still have Sabrina, though, so. It's kind of over even if they top deck their, like, hand. They get it. There's the rare candy. There's the Crobat. They're going to do a ton of damage. It's unfortunate because they feel pretty good about that moment. I mean, it's about as good as it could have gone. But we had them ready to go. GG. GG. Pikachu EX. Looking pretty good in this Raichu EX deck. I'm not going to lie. Pikachu EX, the showstopper so far. Okay. We are going first into a water deck. I'm going to play Zera here. I might play Pikachu as well. It's not fun to build your bench, but we have the ability to attack pretty fast with Zera, right? Our turn. We get Pika. I'm going to try to get a second Zera, so I'm playing Professors before the Pokeball with the chances of slightly higher, you know, likelihood of grabbing a basic from that. We hit Pikachu. I could put other Pika here. At this point, I don't think it really hurts us too much, so I'm just going to do it. It's not fun to do a Suicune deck, but at the same time, I need it to power my Pika EX. If I happen to get an Elemental Switch next turn, too, I'll start sweeping pretty hard, so. Let's see what they do. They hit Pokeball and Professors. They've got 6 in hand, 11 in deck. They get Suicune. They probably just retreat the Froakie. Yeah. We could attack here for 70. I don't hate it, but I also kind of want to mess with them in one way. So I could Mars them right now. That's a play. Or I could just Sabrina right now and slow them down. I'd rather do that. I'd rather just mess with this. So It makes it harder for them to get their Greninja online when I do this. They're going to need to get another Froakie, which they could easily have, but this also puts them in a position where all I need to do is crack that one Suicune. If I could just get Raichu out there, hit it one time, we win. Let's see what they decide to do. They got a lot of cards, so they could easily set their bench back up. Professors, too. Jeez, when it rains, it pours. They have 8 cards in their hand right now. I would happily Mars them next turn, if they let me. Giant Cape. Wow, they're positioning as if they're going to let me hit them with Mars. Wow. Okay. I will definitely take this, without question. It's too many cards. I know you're strong, but we will, we'll fight you here, buddy. They get Froakie back, of course. How could they not? And they get Irida. They get really everything they need right there. Alright. We do live. But I believe that's a KO, right? With red. I'm pretty sure I just get him here. Pretty sure I'm doing the math right, huh? Bonk. See you later, Suicune, you big jerk. Yeah, maybe I could put red card in this deck, too. Might not be a bad idea. Okay, we are starting here. We're first, which is kind of tricky into a water deck. I could attack with Pika in 1. I also have a shot to get Zeraora. I have a Pokeball, which either gets his Pikachu EX or Zeraora. Hopefully it's Zera. Zera would be huge. Ugh, it's kind of like the worst possible draw for us, but okay. I'm gonna put it down. Really bad start. If that was Zera, this is like great start. Without it, it takes us a while to attack. I didn't really want Pikachu in the active spot here. But in this current situation, we'd be in a better spot with it, for sure. Let's see. We get Mars. Interesting. I'm just going to go ahead and fill out our bench here. There isn't a great reason not to. I mean, they can move us around, but everything has 1 retreat cost, so... I don't think Mars is necessary right away. If they already have their Greninjas, there isn't a lot I could have done anyway. They have Pyukumuku. Interesting. They're going to go ahead and retreat. Okay. It's a weird setup. Professors gives us Zeraora and another Professors. I know it does a lot of damage to me, but I will take the KO. We go down to 40. I have Elemental Switch, so I can retreat even without X speed and still attack with other Pikachu. If they have Greninja, they can't get a KO yet, so we're not feeling too awful. Okay. I can't Cyrus. I could retreat and switch. Let's just go ahead and Professors right now. Let's see what we get. We get a Sabrina and a Raichu. Not really what we're looking for. I think the play is retreat, Elemental Switch, and unfortunately just this Pikachu is going to go down. But I get to save an energy. off of it. I think that's our best call. Not great, but it's our best bet. We can only hit the Greninja for 110. So Greninja will hit us for 80 here, or excuse me, for 60. Then next turn for 80. I don't think they're going to play a bench. I can avoid a Cyrus. Like, we can narrowly avoid a Cyrus. Oh. Not what I expected. They got the cape for it. Okay. Either way. This was one way to do it. They could have done it a different way. I'm guessing they wanted to avoid me taking that option away from them, right? Which, without a cape, we're in trouble. We do have a cape in this deck. Fortunate. Who do I want to put energy on? I guess you. I'm just gonna go ahead and Mars them. Might as well. Just for fun. They need Guzma or Cyrus. They might have it. Suicune. Okay. GG. Scary one. Get over here. I got the pretty Cyrus now, too. That we pulled from a daily pack, by the way. What are the odds? This Raichu deck sure is a Pikachu EX deck. Well, we're gonna have to keep working on our Raichu decks, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I love you. I'll see y'all next time. We did it. Oh, let me know your favorite Raichu EX deck in the comments.